Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle products that are friendly to your skin. And today we're talking about the Beauty of Joseon Relief Sun Rice Plus Probiotics Sunscreen. Oh yeah, a brand new sunscreen goodie. Now, I actually just did a YouTube short on this. In 46 seconds, I gave you guys my review and impressions about this sunscreen. And I did give it a 9 out of 10, which is a little bit of a spoiler for this video, I will admit, but I felt like there was enough interest for a full-length video, and I know you guys like to go deep with detail, so that's what today is all about. I'm going to be talking about texture, the ingredients, my experience with it, and I'm going to explain to you why I gave it a 9 out of 10. All right, let's get right into it. Give the video a big thumbs up and let's get started. And before we get started, I want to let you know I did receive this product for free from the brand when they launched this sunscreen. I am not under sponsorship. I'm under no obligation to talk about this product at all. I just wanted to make that clear that I did receive this product from the brand. So this is a chemical sunscreen. It's rated SPF 50 plus PA+ 4. Now that has been verified twice in both Korea and in Spain. And I think we're going to start to see this as being the norm going forward in Korean sunscreens is, getting those sunscreens tested for their ratings, not only in Korea, but, to kind of like calm some nerves a little bit, getting it tested outside of Korea as well. We did see that with the new Purito release, and we're seeing it now with Beauty of Joseon. Now, I will tell you, those tests are not available for us to look at, so I cannot tell you what the PPD of this is or what the average sunscreen rating was on this one, but it has been verified twice, so I'm feeling okay about this. And I'm feeling really good about the filters that they've chosen as well. So they're using 4 chemical filters, and they're all new generation chemical filters. So just a recap on that. Those are the filters that are a little bit newer and improved. They're less likely to irritate the skin. They're more likely to be photostable and offer more protection. So we have Uvinyl A+, which offers UVA protection, and we also have Uvinyl T150, which offers UVB protection. Now, these are very commonly found in a lot of K-beauty sunscreens, and I do believe that they really, contribute to that very elegant, lightweight, breathable texture. However, what's really exciting about this sunscreen, or at least exciting to me, they're using 2, actually not commonly used filters in the K-beauty space. They're pretty new and they're pretty exciting. So the first one is Tinosorb M, not Tinosorb S, Tinosorb M, and that covers both UVA 1 and 2 as well as UVB, which is pretty exciting because Tinosorb M gets a lot of love and praise. It really is regarded as one of the highest protection, broad spectrum filters out there on the market today. And then we have Iscotrizinol. It's actually a pretty exciting filter. It's incredibly stable. This filter actually loses about 10% of its SPF protection after, drum roll, 25 hours. That is really, really cool. And I love to see the use of different filters in this formula. All 4 of these, I've used the first 2 in other formulas before and I've really enjoyed it, but I'm really excited by this use of kind of like breaking out into a little bit of a different formulation, because I will admit to you, sometimes K-beauty, even under different brands, can kind of feel similar. Have you noticed that? I do sometimes feel like some of the sunscreens that are released have really similar properties to them. So I was just really pleasantly surprised by this formula because I wasn't expecting it. It's not something that I've seen in the K-beauty space yet, although I have a feeling we're going to see more of this in the future. So bottom line here with the ingredients, it covers UVB and UVA 1 and 2. I think these are great filters and it's a really exciting formulation. So texture, this is not as thick as it appears when you first squeeze it out of the tube. I was actually really surprised by this because when I first looked at it, I was like, this looks like a pretty thick type of moisturizing sunscreen. It had really good spread though. It feels very essence-like. You know, some of those sunscreens that call themselves essences, this has that kind of feeling to it. It spreads really nicely onto the skin, and that's when you can feel it's actually not as thick as it first appears. Because although this does moisturize the skin, I will admit this is a more moisturizing type of sunscreen. It does have a little hydration to it, and it actually just applies in a really pleasant light layer on the skin, and it absorbs really nicely. I feel like the dry settle time on this is really reasonable, like 5 to 10 minutes, and it's like settled into your face really nicely, and it doesn't feel heavy. I was just surprised. I don't know why. Maybe it was the rice in this sunscreen. I was really expecting it to be a little bit heavier, a little bit more medium weight on the skin. And then when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, this is going to be medium weight. But it actually feels like a nice, lighter, breathable layer on the skin. But it does bring a little bit of nourishment, just a little bit of moisture into the skin. I would really classify this as a slightly dewy finish on the skin. It's not completely neutral. There is a little bit, just a little bit of finish on the skin. But let me tell you, like I always say, there's a fine line between dewy and greasy and shiny, right? So I recently reviewed the new Purito Daily Go-To Sunscreen, and you know I kind of knocked the rating down on that just a little bit because it was so shiny. Okay, dewy was over here. That's like in the good positive area for me. I like a little dew on my skin. Shiny and greasy is over here. That's kind of negative. And I just feel like that sunscreen from Purito is more on the shiny side. It's doable, but it's not our favorite thing in the world, right? You know what I mean? So I was really pleasantly surprised by the Beauty of Joseon sunscreen because it had a little bit of dew, but I will tell you, it actually settles into the skin after it fully dries and absorbs, which is about 5 to 10 minutes. And then that dewiness, it's not really there anymore. Now let's talk about white cast, because with the filter Tinosorb M, as great as it is, as high protection and broad spectrum as it is known to bring a little bit of a white cast to the sunscreen that it's formulated in. Because Tinosorb M, interestingly enough, it is halfway between like a chemical sunscreen and a mineral sunscreen. It actually has the properties of both organic and inorganic sunscreen filters. Interesting, right? But that does mean that there might be a little bit of a white cast. And you know what? This always comes down to formulation, because even if like one specific filter is known for giving a white cast, there might be a way around that, right? So I was like, okay, let's see how this has been formulated, how the final sunscreen comes together. But I was really looking like for a white cast, you know what I'm saying? So I was really pleasantly surprised. Everything about this texture is really beautiful. I really do enjoy the experience of putting this on, which is huge, right? You got to enjoy putting your sunscreen on every single day, right? And I really enjoy putting this on. It blends into the skin beautifully. I did not notice a white cast or a gray cast or like a hint of anything on my skin at all. What I did notice though, reapplication, there's no pilling, and it actually doesn't build up like too heavy on the skin in reapplication. It will build a little bit in moisture, but it's still pretty lightweight and breathable. What I did notice on the second application with this sunscreen is where I think a hint of the white cast can start on the skin. And I think this is going to be a little bit more evident on darker skin tones, but I really want to emphasize how picky I am being right now and how slight of a white cast this is. I really want to make that clear, because even on a second application on my skin tone, it really didn't it was not obvious. This is me being incredibly picky, going super up close to the mirror, being like, yeah, I think it's a little bit paler right there, but it didn't make me look washed out or gray or anything like that. So I think even with a little bit of that slight white cast on the second reapplication, I still think that this could be a workable sunscreen for darker skin tones, but I have yet to see it. You know what I'm saying? I have yet to see it. So proceed with caution, of course, always, and definitely look for some swatches. But I was surprised with Tinosorb M, the way that they formulated this with the other filters, the 3 other ones in this formula, that it actually has a really pleasant absorption skin, texture, feel, breathability on the skin. Everything about this is really nice in my opinion. So at the beginning of the video, I did tell you, I just recently did a YouTube Shorts on this, a 46-second review. I am well known for my longer videos. I like to go into detail. That is just something that really lights me up. It's something that for me as a skincare lover, it's what I like to know about products before I purchase them. So that's the type of video that I make. However, I will say that shorter format has been really fun, but it is sometimes challenging to get everything out that I want to about a product, which is why I really wanted to make this longer video. But in that short, I gave it a 9 out of 10. And I really do stand by that. You know, I really do like this sunscreen a lot. And I'll admit to you, if I was not making this video to help like a variety of different people make a decision on if this is something that's right for them or not, if it was just me, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. I really like this. I really, really like this sunscreen so much. And when I first received it from the brand, I was like, okay, this is exciting. I got to test this out, but I'm heading out of town really soon. Should I bring this new sunscreen that I'm very excited to test out with me? Ooh, living dangerously, right? I usually don't take anything new with me when I'm away from home because I never know what my skin is gonna do. It can be kind of finicky, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So I took it with me on vacation, and I'm not like in work mode. I'm not like in reviewing mode. I'm not like taking notes about stuff. I'm just like slapping skincare on and getting out, you know, out the door. And this actually performed beautifully. And I think that actually says a lot about a product when you can just use it without thinking about it too much or being like, oh no, this made me look greasy, or oh no, it's breaking up my makeup, or oh, I have a little bit of a gray cast now that I reapplied it. This gave me no problems whatsoever. It was like super easy to apply. It dried down. I could get my makeup on. I didn't look like a grease ball. It didn't embarrass me or make my makeup break up or anything like that. I was really happy with this sunscreen. It's so comfy on my skin. Absolutely no irritation, no dryness. Like, it feels so good. I'm a huge fan of this. For me, I would give it a 10 out of 10. Why did I give it a 9 out of 10? It really comes down to that potential white cast on reapplication on darker skin tones. I'm not exactly sure. I think that it's still going to be workable, and of course it is a little bit more on the moisturizing side. So I don't know that it's going to work for every single skin type. Where I would really recommend this for is like the combo to dry. It's not like overly moisturizing, it's really not, but it does lend a little bit. That feels really comforting when your skin's a little bit on the drier side. However, I do suspect if you're a little bit oilier, but you like to sometimes like skip your moisturizer and go straight for sunscreen, this could actually be a really good option as a moisturizer replacement for you because it is not heavy. And even though it has that like kind of dewy finish to it, it does not make you oilier. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make you greasier or make your skin feel like thick. You go like this across your forehead and you're like, ugh. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Purito. It's just funny that I reviewed these back to back because I just like, I have that Purito in the back of my mind so much, and then I've got this Beauty of Joseon here, and I keep comparing it. And really, when it comes to comparing them, Beauty of Joseon comes way ahead on the finish, in my opinion. So I'm a pretty big fan, as you can tell. There is one other really crucial area that I like to look at when I'm reviewing a sunscreen, and that's price. Because, you know, I like a good budget-friendly sunscreen. You know, sometimes I do indulge in more expensive ones, but I will admit I like to keep the cost to a minimum because with sunscreen, I want to apply it generously and I want to apply it often. And when I'm spending a lot more on sunscreens, I'm less likely to do that. Everybody's budgets are different. Where you're comfortable is different, but I like to point out the price because I do think it's important no matter where you're at. And I'm really happy to tell you, I find this to be a pretty affordable sunscreen. You get 50 milliliter of product and the full retail on this is about $16. So happy they were able to keep it under 20. I think that's great. And I do find this brand just generally to be a very affordable brand, something that I love, especially when it comes to sunscreens, which I can go through pretty quickly. So TLDR, my recap on this Beauty of Joseon sunscreen. I think it's great. I gave it a 9 out of 10, and I'd really recommend it for skin types that are a little bit more combination to dry because it does offer some moisturization to the skin. However, you know, the final finish and feel feel and weight on the skin, I think, is light and breathable enough. If you are a little bit on the oilier side, but you like to use your sunscreen as a moisturizer replacement, I think that this could be a good option for you as well. In my opinion, the filters check out. I think this offers really nice protection for both UVA1 and 2 and UVB. I would really recommend this as a great everyday casual sun exposure sunscreen. The reason I say that is just simply because it's not water resistant. It's not rated for that. And that's really something you want to look for if you're going to be spending like your entire day outside exposed to the sun in high UV conditions. If you're going to be around water, swimming, if you're going to be sweating a lot, this is not the type of sunscreen that you want. You really do need to be looking for water resistant formulas. So for everything else, like I said, casual exposure, this is the perfect everyday type of sunscreen. So what do you think? Have you tried this sunscreen yet, or are you planning on it? Let me know in the comment box below. If this review helped you out, but you have not hit subscribe to my channel yet, please do consider hitting subscribe. I release lots of new skincare content throughout the week, so don't forget to turn on notifications too, so you're never out of the loop when I drop a new video. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe, and I cannot wait to talk to you in the next video. I'll see you soon.